Welcome to this explainer. Okay, let's dive right into this because today we're looking at advanced tactics for tackling some of the toughest exam questions out there. We are zeroing in on the single most crucial concept in additional mathematics that is literally costing students marks all over the globe. Look, if you're preparing for the Cambridge IGCSE Additional Mathematics 0606 exam, you already know it demands a really high level of precision. It's like flying at maximum altitude. There is zero room for error. But there is this one specific, fundamental area where even the brightest, most prepared students routinely trip up. So today, we're going to decode exactly what the examiners are looking for so you can lock in those top grades.
We're starting off with this pretty jarring reality, straight from the senior examiners themselves. It helps us understand why so many candidates just stumble right out of the gate. Straight from the principal examiner reports, we see that for trigonometric functions, the requirement that angles must always be in radians is consistently one of the most misunderstood areas in the entire syllabus. I mean, it sounds so incredibly simple, right? It's literally just a mode setting on your calculator. But the source material makes it abundantly clear that failing to apply this rule cascades into massive, heartbreaking mark losses. Let's look at exactly how we fix that right now.
So here it is on the screen, the golden rule. And listen to me carefully here. This is not a suggestion. It's an absolute requirement for passing. Whenever you are dealing with calculus involving trigonometric functions or solving specific advanced trig equations in the syllabus, your angles absolutely must be in radians. Candidates have to demonstrate complete mastery of this fundamental principle. Because think about it, if you start working in degrees, your entire analytical framework basically falls apart instantly. The math just won't work, and the examiners simply cannot award you the marks you deserve, even if the rest of your logic is flawless.
Section 1. Decoding the syllabus and core assessment objectives. Before we continue, subscribe to our YouTube channel Ace the Exams at acetheexams_IGCSE to excel in your Cambridge examinations. Click that subscribe button and hit the bell icon right now. Okay, so top-performing students don't just memorize things blindly. They exhibit a connected, conceptual understanding that transfers to totally unfamiliar contexts across these three domains you see here. The assessment objectives target distinct cognitive domains. First up, knowledge and understanding of rules, like our radian requirement. Second, the actual application of those rules. And third, the analysis of complex problems. The syllabus heavily emphasizes that mastery isn't just about knowing a formula off the top of your head, it's about seamlessly applying it to brand new, unseen scenarios without dropping your foundational rules. It's about being adaptable.
Section 2. The method mark strategy, earning points for the process. Now, this step-by-step masterclass outlines the exact standardized sequence you absolutely must follow to systematically process any trigonometry problem. When you're tackling these exam questions, you have to first deconstruct what is actually being asked. Next, extract the relevant data from the texts or tables. Then select your analytical framework. And hey, this is exactly where you remind yourself, oh, trig function, radians. After that, execute your analysis with really clear working, and finally present your verified results using the correct terminology. This procedural framework right here, this is exactly how examiners award method marks for your process, even if you make a tiny arithmetic error along the way. But look, data interpretation is only half the battle. Your presentation matters immensely. You have got to use clear working and appropriate formats to verify your results. How you put that data on the page is just as important as the data itself. The source data explicitly states that the presentation of information follows strict conventions. If your notation is a mess or your annotations don't clearly show your logical steps, the examiner literally cannot follow your methodology. And if they can't follow it, you lose out on those vital method marks. Stop scrolling for a second, subscribe to our YouTube channel Ace the Exams at acetheexams_IGCSE to excel in your Cambridge examinations. We've helped thousands of students improve by 2 to 3 grade boundaries. Join them right now by subscribing to @acetheexams_IGCSE and turn on all notifications so you never miss our weekly exam strategy sessions. Section 3. Top examiner warnings and why candidates lose marks. Let's look at a typical student's workflow of errors during an exam. It's a progression where they just bleed marks through vagueness, bad formatting, and ignoring context. The principal examiner reports highlight 3 main issues on this timeline. First, around minute 2, answers are often too vague. Examiners want specific details. Then, around minute 5, students completely forget to check their format and presentation as the clock is ticking down. And third, by the time they reach minute 10 and their final answer, it isn't specific to the actual context given in the question.
It's a really tragic progression of completely easily avoidable errors. When we compare the average candidate to a top-scoring candidate side by side, we see exactly what examiners want to see: specific details and clearly defined terms in those extended responses. The examiner alerts specifically warn that candidates consistently confuse key terminology. On the flip side, the top-scoring candidate always defines their terms before using them. They don't just write down a random number and hope for the best, they show exactly what that number represents in the context of the specific problem, proving they actually have that deep conceptual understanding. Section 4, Evaluative Thinking and the Deconstruct, Solve, Evaluate loop. To hit the absolute highest evaluative levels, you have to actively question assumptions and justify your problem-solving decisions using what we call the Deconstruct, Solve, Evaluate loop. Top-scoring candidates demonstrate true critical analysis. They identify given information, break it into logical steps, solve it systematically, and then, and this is the crucial part, they check for reasonableness. If your trig answer comes out looking wild, an evaluative thinker stops and asks, wait a second, did I leave my calculator in degrees instead of radians? This specific ability to evaluate your own work and justify your mathematical steps is exactly what earns the highest marks on the paper. So here's a great memory hack. Build a visual story in your mind for these procedures so you never ever forget the Radians rule or your analytical framework when you're under exam pressure. The source material suggests encoding these concepts through a visual story method. Imagine a literal, glowing neon rad sign flashing in your mind the very second you read the words sine, cosine, or tangent in a calculus question. Visualizing the deconstruct, solve, evaluate loop as a physical path you are walking down during the exam will help anchor your focus and keep your methodology incredibly sharp. I want to leave you with this final, critical thought to challenge how you approach your very next past paper. The next time you sit down to practice, before you write down a single number, ask yourself, is my calculator in the right mode? And is my methodology clear enough to prove my logic? Because as we've seen today from the examiner reports, success in additional mathematics isn't just about raw calculation. It's about systematic processing, clear methodology, and remembering those golden rules. Keep that calculator and radians for trig, keep your working crystal clear, and go ace that exam. Students who implement these mathematics strategies see an average improvement of 2 grade boundaries, but only if they practice consistently with our weekly videos. So, here's your final reminder: subscribe to our YouTube channel Ace the Exams at acetheexams_IGCSE to excel in your Cambridge examinations. Subscribe right now to @acetheexams_IGCSE and click that bell. Don't let another exam pass you by. Also, drop a comment below with your target grade for mathematics and the biggest challenge you're facing. Our team responds to every comment. Like and share this video with a study partner. Ace the Exams. Your Cambridge success starts here.